Chapter 11 Ch 11, Conflict with Chen Fong. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Here, take this token. This proves you have passed the test and can work in the pleasure hall. Bai Lingxi threw a blue token towards Wang Ming, which he caught with his hands. Not like you need it anyway, as everyone could hear me moan, which already proves you are capable, Bai Lingxi said with a smirk. Sigh. The heavy responsibilities to please every woman is really tiring that I am burdened with, but I still need to sacrifice myself for the better of the world, Wang Ming said as if it was the noblest deed a person could perform as he left the room, while Bai Lingxi just stood there speechless. Ha, I have truly fallen for a shameless person, Bai Lingxi muttered under her breath, but had a smile on her face. Wang Ming strode along the hallway towards the reception to fulfill his so-called duties. Step, step, step. Everyone in the reception all turned towards the source of the footsteps, especially all the females that were waiting for him in anticipation and eagerness. When the person who created the footstep was revealed, they were elated and looked at Wang Ming with hungry eyes that seemed to want to devour him and were filled with lust towards him, while the males looked at him with jealousy and some showed killing intent, to which he just looked at them, smiled. He is finally back. He actually screwed Lady Lingxi. Yeah, I knew he had a chance but did not expect him to actually succeed. Did you hear the loud moans that Lady Lingxi made? I want to try him as well. The way she moaned loudly makes me think that his thing must be very large, maybe or maybe not. Don't forget this was her first time experiencing a man. All the women were chattering loudly, which made Wang Ming smile. Damn, fuck this bastard. How the fuck did this bastard manage to get the chastity of that sadistic woman? Fuck, I am jealous. The men at the room present cursed him while Wang Ming sighed. Ah, these ignorant men won't understand how difficult and heavy my responsibility is to please women. I am truly too nice to these helpless women, Wang Ming whispered under his breath, but many of them heard him. Shameless, you think having sex is a heavy burden and difficult a responsibility? Heck, let us do it for you, we will happily share the burden for you. The men were cursing Wang Ming in their mind while the women blushed in embarrassment listening to his shameless words. You, how dare you take my Lingxi from me? Her first should have been with me. A middle-aged man with scars on his face pointed his finger at him while trembling with anger. Oh, isn't that Chen Fong who was pursuing Lady Lingxi for years? Sigh, such bad luck that Wang Ming stole Lady Lingxi from him. I heard he runs a local gang in the red light district. Some people were whispering in low voices, afraid of offending him. Who the fuck are you, ugly old guy? Wang Ming said. Oh, old, ugly. Chen Fong almost coughed out blood when he heard those words, as those were his sore points and have always killed anyone who called him ugly or old. That bastard. Chen Fong's whole body was surging with killing intent. Oh, I see, so your name is Bastard. This is the first time I am seeing someone so excited to announce that their name is Bastard, Wang Ming said with nodding his head. Everyone looked at him dumbfoundedly and thought the same thing. Brother, are you for real? His name is not Bastard. He is a dangerous person. Do you think your good looks will save you? Fucker, I will kill you, Chen Fong said with killing intent. Okay, but before you kill me let me ask you question, Wang Ming said acting scared. What is it? Chen Fong asked in annoyance. Are you married? Wang Ming asked. Yeah, I am married to a very beautiful woman. Why do you ask? Chen Fong asked with suspicion, but still answered to know why this bastard will ask him something like this when he is about to die. Really? I heard that people with anger management issue have the smallest dick, and looking at your behavior I think you have the smallest one in existence. Sigh, such sad woman your wife is. I am sure she has to indulge in self-pleasure, Wang Ming muttered. Chen Fong and everyone, sigh, looks I have to visit your wife and share my body warmth with her after your death. No, looking at your situation I should visit your wife as soon as possible. Sigh, another troublesome responsibility I have on my shoulder. My life is truly stressful. I need to give you the generous title of cuckold as quickly as possible, so that when you visit the underworld, the king of the underworld should reduce your punishment by seeing how greatly you contributed to your wife's pleasure by being cuckold, Wang Ming said as if he was pressured by a heavy responsibility. Everyone looked at him with their mouth open wide and their eyes nearly popped out from their sockets. Brother, you are really shameless. How could you say something like that with a straight face? You should contribute to your wife's happiness and should be an ideal husband, Wang Ming said as he looked at the red-faced Chen Fong. Fucker. I will be an ideal husband if I let my wife sleep with another man. The hell, Chen Fong was seething with rage as no one ever insulted him to this extent. I will kill you. Chen Fong charged at Wang Ming with full speed. Sigh, you don't really appreciate my kindness. I will be helping your wife, so you should be grateful, Wang Ming said. She easily dogged his attack as he was only at the 9th order of Qi gathering realm. I don't need you kindness, you bastard. Stop dodging and let me hit your face, Chen Fong shouted as he tried to hit Wang Ming on his face. Sigh, if I let you hit my face, how will I seduce your wife? And now you also want me to let you hit my face? I am sure your thing must be very small. I have to quickly help her, Wang Ming said. I will. Before he could finish his words, he felt a sharp pain in his gut and coughed a mouthful of blood and saw his vision turning black. Sigh, now I have to throw the trash. Wang Ming grabbed and tossed his unconscious body outside the pleasure hall. Chapter 12 Ch 12 Fear of being cucked. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When everyone saw how easily Wang Ming beat Chen Fong and tossed him outside like trash, the people who had malicious intents were now fearful of him and discarded any ill intent they had towards him. Hell, how is he so strong? I thought he had just good looks, but I didn't expect him to be so strong. Are you an idiot? Can't you sense his cultivation? He is at the 1st order of the Foundation realm. I am not a cultivator, so I didn't notice him. I was planning to beat him up and ruin his pretty face. Glad I did not do anything, or else I would be a bloodied corpse. When Wang Ming heard someone was planning to ruin his face, he looked at the man with a smile which sent shivers down his face as he felt that was the smile of a devil. Oh no, I would have killed you, but I would turn you into a cuckold first. Of course I would not force myself on any woman or use any underhanded technique. I would just seduce your wives with my good looks, and I am pretty sure no women can resist my charm, Wang Ming said with a smile while the man was covered in cod sweat. He is right, fuck. If he sweet talks to her, he could easily seduce her and get inside her robes. The man was trembling in fear. The most painful thing for a man is not death, but finding out his wife is sleeping with another man, and worse, she enjoys the man more than her husband. Everyone had the same thought and decided they would not mess with him, and felt pity for Chen Fong, as they were sure he would seduce his wife and turn him into a cuckold. I mean, he seduced Lady Lingxi, known to be the most cold-hearted and sadistic woman in the red light district. It is not impossible him to seduce our partners. Everyone thought the same thing with pale faces. Why are your face all pale? Shouldn't you be happy that I am willingly to sacrifice myself to noble cause and contribute to your lonely wife's happiness? You guys are truly ungrateful, Wang Ming said with a disappointed look. We don't need your contribution to make our wives happy. We can do that ourselves, even if we cannot do it. You don't need to trouble it with yourself. How the hell is this a noble cause? Every man in the room cursed Wang Ming in their minds but did not voice out their thoughts as they were afraid of being cucked. Sigh. Looking at your expression, you don't want your wives to be happy. You guys disgust me, but if you change your mind to truly make your wives happy, you know where to find me. Wang Ming gave a disgusted look at the man and stopped paying attention to them. Why does it look like we are the bad guys? Fuck you, you're the disgusting one. Hell, no one in their right mind will send their wives to sleep with you. If only they knew, they'd be sending their wives in the future to him happily, while some being forced by their wives, and some would have their wives sneak behind their back to receive his services. When they learn he is a dual cultivator, they would probably die by coughing out blood in shame and embarrassment. On the other hand, when the women heard his shameless words, they were also stunned in silence, which was quickly replaced by excitement and admiration. Wow, I didn't expect him to be so strong. Not only he is blessed with good looks that would make all men die with envy, but also has a very high cultivation. He is the perfect man a woman wants as a lover, but definitely not as a husband. No, you are wrong. Can't you see that if we have him as our husband, we can ride his thing every day? And which powerful man does not have multiple women in this world? Can't you see he cares about us married women who lack pleasure when our husband is not at home? Well, I don't know about all others, but surely I have to indulge in self-pleasure when my husband is not at home. Yeah, you are right, my husband only cares about increasing his cultivation and neglects bisexual needs. Same here, my husband is also the same. Even though my husband stays at home, his thing is too small to bring me any pleasure. I already cheated on him many times, and even my kid is not his, which he thinks to be his. Wang Ming truly thinks about his married woman. Most men would be disgusted by the thought of touching a married woman because they think we are dirty. Yes, he truly cares about us, the men, and even Wang Ming was completely dumbfounded when they heard what the women were saying. While all the men were completely covered in cold sweat thinking that their wives or partners may have already put a green hat on them, as their thoughts started to run wild. Fuck, are my kids really mine? Have my wives/partners been loyal to me? I have to stop focusing on my cultivation and focus on my wife or else I might get cucked. Sigh, looks I have a lot of unsatisfied women to satisfy, my life is really difficult, Wang Ming said while the others glared at him with bloodshot eyes. You still have the nerve to say your life is difficult? If your life is difficult, then what about yours? Shouldn't we just die? The men cursed Wang Ming due to his words. On the other hand, Luo Li and her sect members were rooted on spot. Seeing the spectacle, he is truly shameless, but that also adds a strange charm, said one of the sect disciple. I don't know if he is a dual cultivator or not, but he sure must be able to please women judging from the moaning we heard, said one of the disciples as she licked her lips. What about you, sisterly, are you going to try him, said one of the disciples. You guys are going to try him out first even though you have partners, right? Asked Luo Li. Yep. Yes, without a doubt. In that case I will wait for you to confirm if he is a dual cultivator or not, Luo Li said while looking at Wang Ming and his antics. Chapter 13 ch 13. First customers. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Just as Luo Li's friends were about to approach Wang Ming to ask for a session, two figures rushed towards Wang Ming. Two women with jet black long hair, cherry-colored plump lips and face devoid of any imperfection, and had sinful bodies with huge assets that would make any man would drool over, and the mature aura that surrounded them made them more appealing to the eyes. They were Meng Yu and Zhou Yan, who had red faces and was breathing heavily while they were staring at Wang Ming with hungry eyes. Wang Ming, we were waiting for you since you went inside and were losing patience for you to return, Meng Yu said with a red face. Yeah. The sounds of moaning of Lady Lingxi was turning us on and it was becoming difficult to control ourselves, but we can't control ourselves anymore. You better quickly fulfill your promise that you made before going inside, Zhou Yan was talking about when he said they will be his first customers after passing the test. Sigh, I have to perform by duties and end their suffering, not only there but also every woman present here, Wang Ming thought in his mind while noticing most women were looking at him with lustful stares. Of course I will, but wait just a moment, Wang Ming said as he strode towards the reception. Miss, this is my token I received from Lady Lingxi. Can you please prepare a room for me to start providing services for my dear customers? Wang Ming said as he revealed a blue token which made everyone gasp in shock. That's the token of pleasure, right? Impossible. Why are you guys reacting like that? What's so special about that? That person that receives that token is acknowledged by Lady Lingxi as the best pleasure and gains the same authority as Lady Lingxi. Everyone was dumbfoundedly staring at the token and Wang Ming. Even Wang Ming was shocked by the value of the token. Lingxi is really the best. Now I can do whatever I want here, Wang Ming thought with a smile. The woman at the receptionist did not care about the authority he received from the token but thought about something else. What kind of pleasure did Lady Lingxi receive to give him this token? Not only did the woman at the reception but also all the women present had the same thought and became even more aroused. Beautiful miss, are you okay? Wang Ming said, which snapped her out of her thoughts. Oh yes, you can have any room you like to provide your services in, the woman said with a sultry smile. In that case, can you show me the largest and most luxurious one? Wang Ming asked. Of course. Please follow me, the woman said as she got out from her seat. Wang Ming turned his head towards Meng Yu and Zhou Yan and held both of their waists with his hands and brought them closer to his embrace. Let's go, ladies, Wang Ming said as he started following the receptionist who was walking in front of him. Meng Yu and Zhou Yan were breathing more heavily as their hands were roaming on his fine sculpted body while walking towards the room after the receptionist brought them to the room, which was large enough to fit several dozen people. Meng Yu and Zhou Yan already started to remove their robes. Gulp. Wang Ming gulped a mouthful when he saw the huge mountains on their chest that showed no signs of sagging and their hairless lower lips were drooling with love juices. The perfectly curved body and slender asses were capable of invoking his lustful desires. Staring at the magnificent scene, Wang Ming's rod started to harden, which drew the attention of the naked woman. They immediately lunged forward towards Wang Ming, started removing his robes. When the robe covering his upper body was removed, they both gulped a mouthful of saliva. This is not the body of a man but looks like the body of a deity, Meng Yu said. Indeed, I have never seen any man with such exquisite body. Zhou Yan agreed with Meng Yu. They quickly kneeled down and brought their face to his raging dragon which was waiting to be free his robes. As soon as they removed the restraints that were holding his manhood, it sprang out and hit their faces, startling them not only both of them but also the receptionist, who was about to leave, halted her steps when she saw his godly body, was now shocked when she saw the length and thickness of his erect manhood. The women had their mouths hung open and had their hands covering their mouth in shock. This. Can a penis be so big and thick? I have experienced nights with many men but none of them can even hold a candle to his rod. I can't wait it to explore my insides. Will it even fit? The women were shocked and their breathing instantly becoming heavy when they thought how it will feel inside them. Meng Yu and Zhou Yan began slowly giving light kisses to Wang Ming's rod. Ugh, waves pleasure started to assault his body. Yang aura. Wang Ming released his yang aura completely, which aroused them even further. The receptionist, who had her legs twitching, who also wanted to join them, lifted her robes and started fingering herself. Meng Yu and Zhou Yan stared, licking his dick, with their wet tongue coating his long dick with their saliva, while both their tongues crashed with each other as they were savoring Wang Ming's rod. Fuck. Wang Ming grunted in pleasure when he saw his manhood disappearing. Meng Yu's mouth, the wet and warm feeling of her cute mouth gave him an otherworldly feeling, as he could feeling her tongue inside her mouth swirling and licking his manhood. Meng Yu stared, moving her head to and fro while the pressure from her soft plump lips sliding on his dick gave him pleasure beyond anything, and slurping sounds filled the entire room. Zhou Wan was licking his balls from below with her tongue, and after some time she rested them on her plump lips, which she slowly opened, devouring them inside her mouth. Wang Ming felt that his balls were inside a warm tub filled with hot water. The warmth of her mouth and wetness created by her saliva was a heavenly feeling that could not be described in words. Chapter 14 Ch 14 First Customers, Part 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Like a real slut, Zhou Yan kept sucking his balls, while skillfully using her tongue to lick every inch of his balls. The receptionist kept fingering herself while watching the two women below. Wang Ming worshipping his cock. The erotic sight in front of her eyes and the fingering made her climax all over the floor. She slipped down her robe and started walking towards Wang Ming. Step, step, step. Wang Ming darted his eyes towards the source of the footsteps and saw the naked receptionist approaching him with seductive steps. Her body had an hourglass shape, even though her breasts were not as large as Bai Lingxi or the women below him. Her thick thighs and fat ass made up for her shortcoming when compared to the likes of three women, but would be considered big when compared with normal woman. Come here, Wang Ming said to the receptionist, to which she agreed as he activated his technique, mouth and hands of ecstasy. The receptionist came close to Wang Ming and she wrapped his neck with her arms and planted her lips on his as their lips smashed against each other. Her wet lips trembled in excitement and she pressed more firmly against his lips. Wang Ming directed his tongue to her lips and parted her teeth with his tongue, which was obstructing its path to advance, and invaded her wet mouth. Wang Ming started roaming and licked every corner of her mouth, which made her tremble in excitement. Whenever their tongues made contact he began to lick her tongue passionately, to which she responded with her own tongue. Due to the excitement she was feeling, her nipples became erect and juices started to drip from her lower lips. Low moans escaped her mouth as she was shivering ecstasy due to extreme stimulating she was receiving from his technique. While Meng Yu and Zhou Yan were working on Wang Ming's lower region, completely ignoring the intense makeout session, Wang Ming grabbed her bountiful breast and started to knead them, which sent jolts throughout her body. The poor girl wanted to moan but could only release muffled moans as her mouth was blocked by Wang Ming's mouth pinch. As Wang Ming was kneading her breast, he suddenly went towards her erect nipples and gave them a strong pinch. Squirt, squirt. Her eyes rolled back and body arched backwards and white liquid gushed out from her lower lips that fell on Meng Yu and Zhou Yan below. Huff. Huff. The young woman was trying to catch her breath while she felt Wang Ming's tongue started to lick all over breast. Oh God. The receptionist felt a strong current ran through her body when Wang Ming took her nipples inside his mouth and started sucking on them and licking her erect tips with his tongue inside his mouth while occasionally nibbling on them. Ohyees. Wang Ming shoved 2 fingers inside her cunt and stared, massaging the inside while his skill, hands and mouth pleasure was still active. Wang Ming could feel her fleshy wet walls trying to stop him from leaving their warmth, but nevertheless he started moving his fingers in and out of her hole. Ohyees, faster, the receptionist kept moaning loudly while Wang Ming's increased his fingering speed while sucking her breasts. The double pleasure was almost driving her to insanity. Ugh. Wang Ming felt he was close to coming from the relentless attacks from Meng Yu and Zhou Yan. Fuck, I am coming. Wang Ming freed his mouth from the breasts and pushed Meng Yu's head closer to his cock, making his cock enter Meng Yu's throat, which ended up gagging her. Ugh. Wang Ming released a huge load directly inside her throat while increasing his fingering speed and bit one of her nipples, making the girl shudder in ecstasy. Squirt squirt. Fuck. The receptionist's tongue came out of her mouth and released a huge amount of her love juices on Meng Yu and Zhou Yan. Meng Yu and Zhou Yan were startled when they felt the juices fall on them, but the look on their face was completely replaced by devilish smiles. Wang Ming, it's not fair. While we are giving you pleasure down here you are busy finger fucking her, Meng Yu said while her lips were stained by his white liquid. Indeed, she needs to be punished for her actions, Zhou Yan said as both of them dragged the receptionist down in front of his crotch. Lick the cum of her lips, Zhou Yan said as she pointed towards Meng Yu, whose lips were stained with white liquid. The receptionist just nodded in silence as her mind was just overwhelmed by pleasure as she could not think straight at the moment. Lick lick. The receptionist opened her mouth and brought her tongue out, started licking Meng Yu's lips. Meng Yu slightly parted her lips and teeth, allowing the tongue to invade her mouth, which shook the girl to core. As this was her first time making out with a woman, both of them in the heat of moment started to clash their tongue against each other, making the room echo in wet sound. Seeing this erotic sight in front of his eyes, his rod became rock hard again. Zhou Yan noticed that, and while the other two were busy making out, she grabbed his hardened member and started kissing and licking it. After she was done with preparation to give him a fine blowjob, she lay down Wang Ming on the floor and sat on his face while her face was on his crotch. She opened her mouth, completely devoured his cock as it disappeared inside her mouth. She started bobbing her head up and down while the pressure from her soft lips and the warm and wetness of her mouth sent jolts of pleasure throughout his body. Wang Ming tried to regain his focus from the pleasure he was receiving to the treat that was in front of his face. Zhou Yan's lower mouth was drooling with love juices that dripped on Wang Ming's lips, tempting him to devour it like a beast with his mouth and tongue. Wang Ming brought his mouth closer to her slit and gave a blow with his mouth. The hot breath sent shivers down Zhou Yan's body as her lower mouth started to leak more juices, and without any warning Wang Ming brought his tongue closer to her lower lips and gave it a lick. Lick. Ohfuck. Zhou Yan let out a loud scream. Chapter 15 ch 15 First Customers, Part. 3. You are listening at novelfull.audio. All. Fuck, Zhou Yan screamed in joy as she felt his hot wet tongue touch her folds, and a wave of current spread throughout her body from her lower lips as she momentarily stopped bobbing her head on Wang Ming's shaft. Wang Ming spread her lower lips with his 2 fingers as he saw her inner walls trembling that were trying to suck his finger inside them and was secreting more juices. Wang Ming used his tongue and started licking the sides of her lower lips and occasionally coming in contact with the pink flesh in the middle, which drove Zhou Yan insane from frustration and anticipation. Please, stop teasing me, Zhou Yan said as she moved her lower lips towards Wang Ming's mouth and rested it on top of his lips. Wang Ming, not wanting to tease her anymore, opened her lower lips wider with his fingers and shoved his long wet tongue inside her lower lips and started licking every corners of her vaginal walls. Ohyees. Zhou Yan yelled in delight as she felt him French kissing her lower lips. Zhou Yan responding to Wang Ming's French kiss in her lower lips by starting bob her head even faster. Wang Ming grabbed both of her massive breasts and fondled them while he was eating her lower lips. Don't stop, I am close, Zhou Yan said as Wang Ming felt her inner walls gripped his tongue with more force. Squirt squirt squirt. Fuck, Zhou Yan shouted as a huge dam was broken and juices gushed out from her lower lips as Wang Ming pinched her nipples, coating his entire face in glistening liquid. Ugh. Wang Ming felt he was close to release his load as he released a grunt from his mouth. Wang Ming shoved Zhou Yan's head further towards his cock. She gasped as his cock rammed into the depths of her mouth. Zhou Yan gagged as he felt the huge rod entering her throat and saliva dripped from the corners of her mouth. Wang Ming stared moving his hips faster as he face-fucked her and treated her mouth as his plaything slamming fiercely into her throat with each thrust. Fuck, I am going to come. Wang Ming's words brought the menu and the receptionist who was making out of their session and crawled on all fours as they approached Wang Ming's crotch that was inside Zhou Yan's mouth. They both pushed Zhou Yan away and brought his cock out of her mouth and gave a lick on the enormous long cock. Fuck, Wang Ming, feeling the stimulation he received from the two wet tongues made him unable to hold his load any longer and released it on both of their face, giving them a lewd facial. You bitches! Zhou Yan shouted in rage as she was deprived of the taste of Wang Ming's milk inside her throat. Heh. While we were making out, you already had your pussy fucked by his tongue, so don't you dare complain, Mengyu said with a smirk as she and receptionist started to lick each other's faces while devouring his spunk which was on their faces. Now, Miss Yen, no need to get angry, there is more on my rod which you can devour. Wang Ming pointed towards his rod which had his milk on it. Zhou Yan immediately went forward, started licking the traces of his cum, and the other two, not wanting to fall behind, started to do the same. Holy fuck, the intense stimulation from three tongues licking all over his erect shaft sent jolts of pleasure throughout his body. Fuck. I am coming again. This time Wang Ming released his load on the faces of all three beauties who were serving him, which they greedily devoured. Time for the main event, Wang Ming said as he lifted Mengyu by the ass, who was the closest to his hands, and brought her towards his erect manhood. Wait, before Mengyu could say anything he brought her lower lips, which was drooling with her juices, above his erect cock and started to lower her and watched his manhood disappearing into her whole bag. Wang Ming grunted in pleasure as he could feel the warm, wet and soft fleshy walls clenching his dick tightly and trying to suck his manhood inside her. My god. Fuck, every inch of the cock penetrating her married cunt pushed her to the edge. Her breathing turned heavy and her face turned red. Sweat oozed out of her body crazily and her legs lost all strength. Her breasts quivered and her nipples turned hard as she could feel his cock entering into depths of her hole that she thought never knew existed. The other two who were watching this erotic show had their pussies ripple in excitement and had nervous and excited look in their face. Is it really painful? She is screaming, acting like that it is her first time, the receptionist said with an astonished face. Even I am surprised. Is it really that pleasurable? Zhou Yan had a question arise in her mind. I mean, look at the length and thickness of his dick. I never saw anything like this, the receptionist said. Even Zhou Yan, who has experienced many cocks due to the inability of her husband to pleasure her, has never seen something as monstrous as Wang Ming's dick. Mengyi had no time to pay attention to what they were saying as her full attention was on the huge rod inside her, making her breathless. Wang Ming stared, thrusting his dick in and out of her pussy as wet sounds and flesh slamming into one another was only heard in the room. Oh. Ye stop, make a mess of this married pussy, Mengyu said as Wang Ming kept thrusting into her, and she responded by bouncing on top of his dick. Mengyu kept on screaming and moaning, her cries mixed with pleasure and pain. Wang Ming drove his cock to Mengyu's limits. His throbbing hardened rod moved out of her hole, making her feel jolts of pleasure, and slammed back into her hole, driving her to insanity. Chapter 16 ch 16 First customers, last part. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Mengyu felt like a bitch in the heat as Wang Ming kept pumping into her. The enormous cock invigorated and inaugurated her pussy with a delightful sensation. The other two women were looking at him with eyes filled with lust and impatience as they were fingering themselves while watching Wang Ming plow. Mengyu, come here, I have still my mouth and hands free. Wang Ming gestured Zhou Yan and the receptionist to come towards him, to which they obliged as they crawled towards him. Zhou Yan sat on top of his face while her lower lips were leaking love juices, while the receptionist grabbed his free hand and guided it towards her pussy. Lick 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 asterisk, ohfuck, yes, Zhou Yan screamed in delight. She felt the wet tongue invading her inside and exploring every corner of her wet hole. Bang, yes. The receptionist started releasing moans as Wang Ming shoved two fingers inside her pussy and stared, thrusting into her soft hole. More. More. Oh. Yes. Yes. Oh. Yes, faster. do me faster. The rooms was filled with moans of the three women that were in a world of pleasure and could not care about anything as they just wanted this feeling of pleasure to last for eternity. Ugh, I am coming, Wang Ming said as he increased his pumping speed into Meng Yu's hole and released his load inside her. Oh so Jody, I am coming as well. Meng Yu felt her insides were painted and filled with warm thick liquid, and the pleasure it brought made her released another orgasm. Meng Yu felt worn out, exhausted, and yet, happy. Never in her life, she thought she would be railed by such a massive cock as he fainted from the extreme pleasure on Wang Ming's chest while his dick was still inside her. Wang Ming stared French kissing Zhou Yan's lower lips faster and fingered the other woman even faster, bringing them close to orgasm while still being connected to Meng Yu. Fuck, I am coming. Both women shouted ecstasy and released their loads all over Wang Ming's chest and face. Lick me clean, Wang Ming said as both of the women cleaned Wang Ming's of their own juices with their tongue, even though they would not do such a thing if it was someone else and could not think straight due to the pleasure clouding their minds after they cleaned him with their tongue. Wang Ming laid down the unconscious Meng Yu on the side of the floor and disconnected his rod from Meng Yu's hole. Her love juices mixed with Wang Ming's cum fell from her hole on the ground. Lie on your stomach and lift your butt to me, Wang Ming said as both the women did what he asked with ragged breathing as they had the same thought, is he going to take our anal cherry? They shivered with the thought of that monstrous dick tearing air ass open, and their breathing intensified as their bountiful chest heaved up and down imagining the scenario, but to their relief and disappointment he did not do what they imagined him to do. Wang Ming brought his dick towards the wet slit of Zhou Yan and began rubbing over her slit. While teasing it, Wang Ming inserted the bulbous of his cock only, which made her tremble in pleasure. Soon he slowly pushed his cock forward while it brushed the inner walls of her pussy, and finally disappearing completely inside, hitting her womb. Ohyyess, so big. Zhou Yan's butt quivered and her whole body shook as she screamed in pleasure. She literally felt like a bitch in heat as Wang Ming continued to pump harder and harder into her pussy while in doggy position. He grabbed her slender waist and then started shoving in and out, with no mercy, his strokes long and fast. Zhou Yan's breasts moved up and down with every thrust, following the movements of his hips. The sound of his balls slamming against her pussy sounded like claps of thunder, sending a chill down her spine. Damn you, you are treating me as your plaything, but I love it, Zhou Yan said as she whimpered even as she enjoyed the delightful strokes that stretched her little hole. As Wang Ming continued pumping into her, he inserted his finger inside the dripping wet pussy of the receptionist. Fuck yes, she screamed in pleasure as she could feel his two long fingers invading her pussy and started roaming all on her fleshy walls. Wang Ming kept fingering her until he felt the vaginal walls of Zhou Yan quivering. He stopped fingering the receptionist, which invoked the woman's dissatisfaction and annoyance due to the sudden lose of the pleasure in her lower lips. Wang Ming grabbed Zhou Yan's two huge mounds that were swinging freely as he thrust it into her and gave them a rough squeeze as he started caressing them roughly. Ag. A scandalous erotic voice came out of her mouth as her body jerked in surprise due to his caressing and released a huge amount of love juices as her vision went dark. Wang Ming unplugged from Zhou Yan's hole, who fainted due to exhaustion, and moved to the receptionist, which had a look of anger written on her face. Don't be angry, I will give you something special to make it up to you, Wang Ming said. Something spe, ag. Before she could ask anything she felt a long thick hard object invading her pussy and spreading them wide. Wang Ming inserted his rod inside her that seemed to be a bit tight for someone who was not a virgin. Oh, she moaned loudly as his hard cock slid into her heat in one push, rubbing, warming his cock and her heat at the same time. But it wasn't enough, he wanted more. Yang erection. This was the first time he used this and wanted to see the results of this technique in an instant. His cock was enlarged and extended inside her, but this time more than the usual. The tight feeling that enveloped his cock was amazing. He could touch her innermost and her inner wall clamped my cock tightly. Ag, she moaned loudly in pleasure. Her body jerked and she bent her head in the mid-air and immediately fainted from the extreme pleasure she received. Ha, this was more effective than I guessed. I hope Lingxi does not faint this easily. I guess I have to help her increase her cultivation, Wang Ming said when a system notification appeared in front of him. Ding dong, user has met the condition to unlock a new function of the system. Exchange function of the system can be unlocked now. Chapter 17 ch 17, exchange function. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding dong, user has met the condition to unlock a new function of the system. Exchange function of the system can be unlocked now. Exchange function. Wang Ming raised his eyebrows. System, what does this exchange function do? Wang Ming asked the system message. The exchange function allows the user to use only spirit stones to exchange them for dual cultivation points. Oh, this is indeed a good thing, but can I exchange other items rather than only spirit stones? Wang Ming asked the system with a curious voice. System message. The user is foolish. Does the user understand the term only? If you do, then he will know the answer is no, only spirit stones can be exchanged for dual cultivation points. Wang Ming's eyes twitched when he saw the system calling him foolish, but ignored it as he really didn't notice that it said only, as his mind was still clouded by lust due to the session he had moments ago. System message. Before the user asks any further question, let the system clarify that different quality of spirit stones will give different amounts of dual cultivation points. Otherwise, seeing how ignorant and stupid the user is, he might think he will get the same amount of dual cultivation stones for every spirit stones and will begin complaining like he usually does. Veins popped out from Wang Ming's forehead when he saw the message, but still maintained his cool by taking deep breaths. Ding dong. Dual cultivation points are being rewarded. You have been rewarded 500 dual cultivation points for mating with the female cultivator named Meng Yu, who is at the 12th stage of the Qi gathering realm. You have been rewarded 300 dual cultivation points for mating with the female cultivator named Shu Yu, who is at the 6th stage of the Qi gathering realm. You have been rewarded 200 dual cultivation points for mating with the female receptionist, who is at the 5th stage of the Qi gathering realm. Sigh, looks like I have to have sex with more women or women with higher cultivation. I hope the new exchange function can help me at the very least, Wang Ming said as he was feeling dissatisfied with the meager amount of dual cultivation points he received. Wang Ming sat down in a lotus position as he started to absorb their yin qi primordial physique merging body is refining in pure spiritual energy to pure spiritual. You have reached the 2nd stage of the foundation realm. You have reached the 3rd stage of the foundation realm. As expected, not much of a breakthrough. I need to absorb another physique or have sex with more powerful women. System, show my user info. Wang Ming sighed as he said to the system, user info, name. Wang Ming, age 18, cultivation. 3rd stage of the foundation realm, dual cultivation points. 1000, bloodline. None, race. Human, physique. Primordial physique merging body, celestial grade, merged physiques. Pure yang physique, divine rank, physique skill. Yang aura, hands and mouth of ecstasy, yang erection, techniques. Heavenly sword art. First form. Flickering strikes, ancient rank, soul eyes, heaven rank, BDNV, Tao laws. Locked. I remember I still have a few monster cores left with me that I got from killing those blue-horned wolves, and among the 12 Foundation Realm cores, I even obtained a peak quality core, Wang Ming said to himself as he had forgotten about the cores he had gotten prior to arriving in the Red Light District. I think I should collect some more monster cores before I go to sell them for spirit stones, Wang Ming said to himself as he cleaned himself of the sweat and liquids from his body and wore a new pair of robes. Oh, Wang Ming, is that you? Wang Ming looked back toward the source of the voice when he saw Meng Yu calling him. The other girls also started to wake up groggily. Oh, ladies, you have awakened. I thought it would take a quite long time for you to wake up due to the way you guys fainted due to exhaustion, Wang Ming said while looking at the women who still showed signs of fatigue in their body. I am also quite surprised. I have never been this exhausted before in my whole life when I had sex with others, and moreover I woke up this quickly astonished me a lot. I thought I would be knocked out for a few days considering how intensely you pounded us with your huge monster, Zhou Wan said while the other two also nodded in agreement as they had the same thoughts. I agree, compared to the men I spend my time with, Wang Ming has the biggest rod and techniques. This was the best sex I had in my entire life and I don't think I will be satisfied with any other rod, Meng Yu said with a mischievous smile which flared up Wang Ming's male ego. Even though he acted surprised as to why they had woken up so quickly, he was the reason they had woken up this fast. I released yang qi which would not provide any benefits in regards to increasing their own cultivation. I wanted to test it out to see what happens when I release normal yang qi, and by the looks of it it seems my yang qi in its degraded form provides energy to the body. Wang Ming placed his fingers on his chin as he thought deeply. Wang Ming, what are you thinking so deeply? Zhou Yan asked in a curious tone. Oh, nothing much, anyways. You all should get dressed after cleaning yourself up, and I need some information from you guys, Wang Ming said, which made the girls wonder as to what information he needed from them. The three women cleaned themselves up and put on new robes which they had carried in their space rings and space pouch. I should get a space ring soon, and the pouch looks really ugly, Wang Ming thought to himself. What do you want to ask, Wang Ming? Meng Yu stared at Wang Ming and inquired about what he wanted to know from them. Chapter 18 Ch 18, Chen Feng's wife. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Oh, it's nothing much. I just wanted to know if there is any place near the red light district where I can hunt monsters for their cores, Wang Ming asked. I thought it was something serious when I saw your expression. If you want to go to a place where you would find monsters to hunt, I would suggest you visit the Shackle Hills. You would find plenty of beasts to hunt for their cores, Meng Yu suggested to Wang Ming. Yeah. You would find beasts ranging from Qi Gathering Realm to Core Formation Realm there, Zhou Yan said. Thank you, ladies. Shall we go outside now? Wang Ming said with a smile as three women followed him outside. When they went outside, all the women that were waiting for him gazed at him with impatient and lustful eyes. They also laid their eyes on the three women who were walking beside him with unsteady movements, as they could trip over and fall at any time. This was due to the pounding they received earlier, and the strength to properly stand on their legs did not fully return yet. How hard did Wang Ming drill into them to be unable to properly walk? Indeed, look at their movements. It seems they would fall down just by a breeze. How pitiful, really is their stamina so low. I am sure Wang Ming could not fully relieve himself, and they fainted before he could fully enjoy himself. Ha ha ha. Looks I have to help Wang Ming out later. I can't wait for my turn. Shut up, bitch. I was waiting for him before you even arrived. The women inside the pleasure hall were chatting loudly among themselves, which could be heard by Wang Ming and the three women beside them. The women beside him were ashamed due to the remarks the crowd was making about them. Fuck, we should have waited inside the room to recover fully before coming outside. Make fun of us while you can. You all would be left in the same state as us when you guys get railed by his massive cock. Meng Yu, Zhou Yan, and the receptionist had the same thought when they heard the crowd sigh. I really can't entertain them right at the moment, as I need to go to the Shackle Hills to gather some monster cores and sell them later. I feel like I am failing my responsibility to provide them pleasure. I have to make it up to them after I return from my hunt, Wang Ming thought as he cleared his throat to tell the women the bad news. Cough cough. Ladies, can I have your attention for a few moments? Wang Ming said as all the noises in the hall subsided and everyone's eyes were focused on him. I am sorry to announce that I won't be able to entertain you ladies to a session with me, as I need to go to a place for some work, but after I return I will gladly accompany you ladies and make up for my absence. I am sure you guys meanwhile can entertain yourself with the other men who work here, Wang Ming said as he scanned through the women's displeased expressions. What, Wang Ming won't be available today? What work does he have and where is he going? I waited so long to have a session with him. Just wait until he returns. Horny woman, who are you calling horny, bitch? Isn't it the same for you? Yes, if he leaves, even if it is temporary, we can have a few customers and will be able to embrace beautiful women. The women were frustrated as they could not have fun with him right at the moment, but calmed down later, while the men were happy as they would get customers while Wang Ming was away from here. I better inform Lingxi before I leave. Wang left the hall and went to Bai Lingxi's chamber. A few hours ago, a man with a bruised face and battered body with blood leaking from his body was lying in the middle of the road, while passers-by just ignored him, as it was not uncommon to find men lying on the road due to the trouble they cause with female prostitutes, which they thought that something happened with him. Ugh! A grunt left from Chen Feng's mouth as he wearily opened his eyes, as memories of what happened a few hours ago resurfaced in his mind and his eyes turned bloodshot. Fuck, I am going to kill that bastard. How dare he humiliate me this way in front of everyone? How dare he say I can't satisfy my own woman? It must have been a fluke that he was able to strike me, Chen Fong said to himself. Ugh, I better go home and treat my wounds first before going back to teach him a lesson. I will fuck that bitch by Lixi in front of that bastard Wang Ming after I cripple his cultivation. Chen Fong smiled sinisterly as he imagined Bai Lingxi below his body. Sometime later Chen Fong returned to his own house, which seemed to be like the houses nobles reside in. Shu Yu, I am back, Chen Fong said with a loving smile when he saw the figure of a woman walking toward him. The woman had long black hair, deep black eyes with an otherworldly face like a fairy. She had a curvaceous body and large breasts comparable to Bai Lingxi. The woman radiated the sin of lust from every corner of her body, which would even make the coldest male fall for her charms. The woman looked at him coldly as she was approaching Chen Fong. Her expression soon morphed into a loving one of a wife who has been yearning for her husband all this time. Oh my God, what happened to you? Why are you so injured? Shu Yu covered her mouth with her hand as tears welled up in her eyes. Chen Fong was quite guilty when he saw his wife was tearing up for him due to his injuries. It's nothing, Shu Yu. I will tell you later about this. Why don't you come here and give your husband a tight hug? Chen Fong said as he went for a hug. He wanted to feel her soft body in his embrace, but Shu Yu moved out of the way to avoid his hug, which astonished him. Chapter 19 Ch 19, Shu Yu. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Fong was stunned and came out of his stupor at Shu Yu's timid voice. Dear, you know how shy I feel when someone tries to hug me, right? Shu Yu said while lowering her head in embarrassment. Chen Fong saw his wife's face was flushed completely red and peeked at him in a bashful manner. Oh, how did I forget that she is extremely shy. Whenever I try to kiss her or hug her she avoids my advances every time, but when we have sex she starts moaning like a whore in the heat. I feel like I achieved a victory in a huge war every time when the shy Shu Yu turns into a slut in bed. I am very lucky to have such an amazing wife, Chen Fong thought to himself with a sly smile. Oh sorry dear, I forgot you don't like to be hugged other than during sex, Chen Fong said while Shu Yu gained the courage to look at him, but his next words completely flustered her. Instead, how about I kiss your soft plump lips with passion? Chen Fong teased Shu Yu and her face turned even redder as if steam would come out of her head. Dear, don't bully me, please. Shu Yu looked at Chen Fong with watery eyes that could even melt the coldest heart. Hee, how cute. I enjoy it whenever I turn her into a whore in the bed, Chen Fong thought to himself. Okay, I will stop teasing you. Chen Fong grinned as Shu Yu harumphed and looked away while pouting. Dear, look how injured you are. Let me tend to your injuries first, Shu Yu said as she quickly started to treat his injuries. Dear, who dared to hit you? Doesn't he know who you are? After she was done treating Chen Feng's injuries, Shu Yu looked at him and asked in a somewhat serious voice which had curiosity mixed in it as well. Humph, don't get me started with that bastard, I will kill him, Chen Fong said with unhidden killing intent. Looking at his wife's curious gaze, Chen Fong started to tell what had transpired and how he got battered up so badly, which shook the woman and had her mouth hung open throughout the conversation. Shameless, how could he say he wants to have sex with me and that I will fall for his seduction? Shu Yu said in an angry voice. Right. I know dear how much you love me, Chen Fong looked at her lovingly. That bitch Bai Lingxi should feel honored that you are giving her the opportunity to be with you, and still she opened up her legs for a new man she just met, that slut. Shu Yu cursed Bai Lingxi as her anger soared through the roof, and even Chen Fong was astonished when he heard his wife cursing for the first time. Don't be this much angry dear, anger doesn't suit your beautiful face, Chen Fong said as Shu Yu calmed down and lowered her head bashfully when she heard Chen Fong calling her beautiful. Seeing her bashfulness, Chen Fong swallowed a mouthful of saliva as he started to observe every inch of her body, starting from her curves, her fleshy butt, her huge pair of mounds of flesh dangling from her chest with lustful and hungry eyes. Dear, why don't we have some fun? Hee, Chen Fong whispered in her ears in a hoarse voice. Shu Yu slightly nodded embarrassedly as a mysterious purple light glowed from her palms, which were clenched together into a fist. In the next moment, Chen Fong started to remove his clothes and was naked. Then he approached Shu Yu and started disrobing her. Seeing the naked hot body of Shu Yu, his rod became hard as he pinned Shu Yu down on the bed and started drilling into her pussy with all his might. Yes, Shu Yu, your pussy is so tight and warm as if my dick will melt into you. Oh fuck, yes, moan like a slut, Chen Fong moaned as became excited when he felt the tightness of her pussy. And hearing her sexy moans ignited his lust further. Normally people would expect the room to be filled with the moans of both the man and women, but only Chen Feng's moans were heard inside the room while the temperature Room became chilly. A woman with long black hair was looking at Chen Fong with eyes filled with hatred and disgust as she continued to glare at him. The beautiful woman was none other than Shu Yu, who gazed at Chen Fong coldly, and it looked like Chen Fong had gone crazy as he was having sex with empty air. She looked nothing like the shy girl who acted like a loving wife but looked like a predator who was gazing upon its prey. Disgusting creature. How dare you act so lovingly with me, how dare you even try to touch me? All these years I have saved my chastity from you and will continue to do so until I die. I won't even let you embrace me. Shu Yu spat on him as she stared him with hateful eyes. All these years Shu Yu kept her status as a virgin intact and even faked her love towards him, and even acted shy when he tried to hug or kiss her so that Chen Fong refrains from touching her in an intimate manner due to her bashful image which she created in his mind. Yes, I am coming. Shiyu. I will paint your insides white with my milk. Chen Fong moaned in ecstasy as he ejaculated his spunk in the air, which then fell on the bed sheets. One day, I will kill you and those bastards who are responsible for my family's death. You bastard. Shu Yu swore in her heart as she stared at the filthy Chen Fong. Shu Yu then started walking out of the room and arrived in front of an old door. Creak. She pushed open the door and was greeted by stairs that led downward. Shu Yu started walking along the stairs and arrived at a dark room. The sight in front of her could even make the coldest heart quiver in fear, anger, and sadness. Chapter 20 Shu Yu, Part 2. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Shu Yu started walking along the stairs and arrived at a dark room. The sight in front of her could even make the coldest heart quiver in fear, anger, and sadness. In front of her stood large cages that are used to hold large vicious animals, but instead of holding animals inside the cages, beautiful women of different ages, skin colors, and different body shapes were inside the cages. The disturbing thing about the women was some of them were completely devoid of any form of clothing and had lifeless looks in their eyes. Some of them had no signs of muscles or fat and they looked like skeletons covered in the skin as they had not been fed for quite a long time. Some even died due to malnutrition, which could be deduced from the skeletons lying on the floor. Shu Yu had tears running down her cheeks as she felt helpless as she thought she failed her duty as a fellow woman. I am so sorry. Please forgive me if you can, Shu Yu said, while some of the women who were still healthy and still had some form of radiance on their face stared at her. It's not your fault, Sister Yu. Even our sisters who passed away or have been sexually abused by Chen Fong and his men didn't feel any form of resentment towards you, but if you can please try to free us, one of the women said as she tried to assure her but could not help but quiver at the end. That's right, I can't break down. I have to find a way to save them. Shu Yu quickly wiped her tears as a smile blossomed on her face as she reassured them. Don't worry, I will find a way to rescue you all. Oh, by the way, something interesting happened with that bastard Chen Fong today, Shu Yu said as the women perked up their ears to listen to what she was about to say. Shu Yu started to tell about how Wang Ming insulted and beat Chen Fong up badly today, which even earned a laugh from the miserable women who were in Chen Feng's clutches. How dare he try to court Fairy Lingxi, serves him right, a toad lusting after swan's flesh. Did Wang Ming really say that his thing must be the smallest in existence? Wow, he even said that Sister Yu had to indulge in self-pleasure as Chen Fong could not please her. He doesn't know that Sister Yu never experienced a man before and is still a virgin. Not only is she a virgin, but she also has never even kissed a man before. The depressing atmosphere suddenly became jubilant as Chen Feng's misery turned to the source of their joy and laughter. On the other hand, Shu Yu's face heated up a bit but still looked at the women with a gentle gaze. Wang Ming, I wonder what kind of man you are. If you really can save them, I will become your woman and maybe you can help me get my revenge. Shu Yu thought to herself. Hey, stop making fun of me, Shu Yu shouted as she pouted. Sister, if that guy Wang Ming really said that he can seduce you, and can even please you with his rod, he must be really confident in his skills. Maybe you should go find him and finally become a true woman. One of the prisoners said as she started laughing while looking at Shu Yu. Who knows, maybe I will give him a chance, Shu Yu replied calmly. What, sister, I was just joking. Are you seriously considering my words? One of the women asked dumbfoundedly. Yeah, why not? If he is handsome and has good skills in the bed, I would not mind. It's better than letting bastard Chen Fong take my chastity, and he must be strong that he was able to beat up Chen Fong without being afraid of any form of backslash that may result from his actions. Maybe he can help me in freeing you all and kill Chen Fong, Shu Yu said as the women looked at her with hopeful gazes. Sister, can we really be saved? Asked one of the women as she stuttered. If he is really strong like I think he is, it would be possible, but I need to see with my own eyes to confirm the chances. Shu Yu replied. Sister Yu, are you going to the Shackle Hills to collect the purple illusion flowers? Asked one of the captives. Yes, I need to refill my stock, otherwise I won't be able to use the purple illusion orb, which I have been using to cast illusions on that bastard Chen Fong to make him think that he was fucking me, and that is how I maintain my purity after all, and will continue to do so until I meet someone who can save from this hell. Sure, you've said in a determined as Wang Ming's name echoed in her mind as a potential candidate to become her husband. Anyways, I will return to Chen Feng's side, otherwise he might become suspicious. Sure, you said as she started walking out of the room and climbing up the staircase. Soon her joyful expression was replaced by a cold look when she saw the naked Chen Feng knocked down unconscious on the bed. Shu Yu's expression quickly changed to the character of the loving wife that would even die for her husband's happiness as soon as she noticed that the eyelids of Chen Feng were fluttering open. Darling, you are already awake. Chen Feng slowly woke up from his sleep while rubbing his tired eyes as he gazed at Shu Yu. Shu Yu meekly nodded, which made Chen Feng smile. I cannot believe the girl who moaned like a whore would act so shy when not in the heat. Dear, I need to go visit the Shackle Hills. I ran out of purple illusion flowers, Shu Yu said, as those were the main ingredients for using the orb. Chen Feng did not know why she was so interested in these flowers and why she would go to collect them every month, but agreed with a nod.